As if I changed everything and hasn't forgotten it. Okay.
Don't worry. Take your time. I'm just eating buffalo ranch wing flavored Pringles.
Okay, now it's registering. Now I gotta go and see if it actually caught any of that from before, because I don't think it did.
Trevor, let me ask you, how much do the Pringles cans cost where you are?
I actually have
Generic
no
or
idea.
full Pringles?
No, it did not
These are
catch any of
Lay's
that.
Stacks, technically.
Okay, that's nice. That's wonderful.
You pay $3 for half a
Oh shit,
can
I
of
can fix
Pringles
this now.
in air.
I
hope
think
that's
ours
not
are.
$3, right?
There we go.
I
It's
think
just
ours are like starting at $1.50 to $2 or something like that.
you just get my point though, right? Half of the can is just air now.
Yeah.
Shrinkflation is real. It's not a conspiracy.
Yeah.
I think in some companies' cases, they've even fucking admitted
I
to
actually
it.
got lucky.
The dollar menu doesn't even exist anymore, bro.
No,
What's a
no.
dollar menu? Okay. Fix the stream as well, so now it looks proper. Okay, so all you guys missed on stream, for those that do actually come and watch, we did a little moment with Jug and Kaitora where Jug was practicing, and he spent all night outside, and Kaitora spoke with him. And then now the party is kind of all meeting up at the inn to go to the arena, and then go on to do some punch fighting. Hit person.
Before we leave for the arena, I would like Manus to buy a bottle of wine and 2 glasses for him and Kaitor to drink while they watch the tournament. Since they're Lex is coming too. So how many people are watching? And who's fighting?
Lupa, Hatano, as far as you're aware at least, Jug, and Ravian are competing. I was trying to remember. I was like, which one of you? I don't remember which one it was.
I thought it was fighting too.
And
Yes,
Jack.
you too. Yes, sorry.
Yeah,
So is he doing solo?
I was assuming Jack would probably want to do like a one-on-one, because the others are an archery, a 3-versus-3, and then jousting, which you have to be a knight for.
Okay, so there's like categories.
Yes, there's 4 different categories. Jousting being the sort of big spectacle at the beginning.
Wait, there was an archery?
Yes.
Wait, you have to be a knight to do jousting?
Yes.
I'm just now
It's a
realizing
very
that
official thing.
I might actually be able to joust.
If you could prove.
Yeah, if I had. Dang it, I don't have the proof though.
You got the patents of nobility?
Crap.
Knight's Tale, buddy.
That'd be funny. That movie's hilarious.
One
I
day.
have to step away for a moment, guys.
All good.
I wouldn't say
I'm about
he's
to have to step
royalty
away for
per
a second,
se,
too.
but
To tuck
he
Lizzie in right
technically
before we
is.
start.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. We'll take a quick, brief pause here for a second while we let everybody get ready. Ooh, perfect. I didn't make a map, but I just found one. Because I honestly forgot. I won't lie. Until literally just now that I had not made a map. I've been working on a lot of stuff lately. Okay. Hang on, let me see if I can find. Might go with that first one actually, it's pretty good.
Actually, you know, I will be right back in a few minutes.
Well, now's the time for it. actually.
And so everybody was gone.
Well timed, sir. Bully.
Gone,
Bully.
but not
I
dead.
favor the challenge.
Okay, I'll grab this one. This one works. I was gonna grab one out of Incarnate from our very creative friends there, but alas, I cannot find what I am looking for. So I went and took to the internet,
I have returned.
the open interwebs, and I have found what I was looking for. Credit will be in the image. I gotta make sure I edit this. Match it up. Oh, it's already
Well,
set.
of course, credit where it's due.
Credit where it's due. Okay, this might come up kind of small, to be honest. Yeah, okay.
Very small, sir.
But, to be fair, it is a not gigantormous fucking huge...
Itty bitty
thing.
teeny weeny.
Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here, right below Greenwood. Oops, hang on, let me
Don't
get
forget
it.
to lock it in place.
Let me get it in the grid here. There we go. Let me fix stream as well. Get us lined up.
Well, let's see the jousting area.
Yes, so essentially we're going to have to use our imaginations a little bit. Because this is a jousting arena, how it is set up. But if you remember correctly, the way I described it is they have it set up. Normally they have posts that run all the way down in a regular jousting arena with a rope that runs over the top with flags on it. But this arena is a little bit different. Instead of that, they have very taut ropes and only a couple of posts at one end and the other. So that this can be changed around into other things. And as you look around, you'll notice that there are yeah, I'd say there'd be 4 posts. I'm trying to remember how I had described this in my head. There are 4 posts that are similar to the ones that hold the ropes, that kind of border the area, kind of like right next to the fence posts. Looks like maybe posts where they tie on some other ropes for a similar but different purpose, and that purpose being keeping people from destroying the fences and also falling into the crowd as they beat the shit out of each other in the arena. Because there are other forms of the combat sport that take place where it's not just 3 versus 3, there are many people versus many people, there are battle reenactments, there are all kinds of fun violence things that happen here. So, let's turn the music a bit chipper here. Where's the... there it is. And make our way to the arena. So, you enter, or you exit the gates of the city and you go down into the little, through the little towns, the few that border the city, and you arrive at the street, and there are people everywhere. You're 3 deep in people right now. There are wagon carts and people tending to them and people getting off the wagon. You see like actually 2 what seem to be some of the knights in very wonderful armor. Brief 5-second history lesson. Armor wasn't often worn as just bare shiny armor. That was considered boring. And especially in jousting, they love to spruce it up. So you see 2 dudes. One of them has like this sort of red, bright armor, and he's got like these bull horns that come off the side of it. It looks like they came straight off of an actual bull, and they were attached to this helmet. and he's got this big bright armor with the chest piece to the protective chest piece, and he's sitting there on his horse with his helmet under his arm with the horns sticking out, talking to this probably another knight, who's wearing like kind of bluish armor. All very ornate. The horses they look expensive. You see various other combatants, people walking with swords and weapons of various kinds. What would you all like to do first?
One thing I want to mention is Manus is wearing his robes over his armor, so you can't like see any of his armor except for his like one gauntlet on his left
Okay.
hand. He's covering all of his armor otherwise. He looks very unassuming.
That's
I'm
that's good. Though I think there's a saying: those who are strong appear weak.
He's not here to fight. He's here to make sure you guys don't get too beat up.
And also not draw attention to himself.
Exactly.
I'm gonna tell Jug and Lupa that I have an idea of how to start out the match that might help us.
I'm
It's
listening.
not related to your sword, unfortunately.
Being the only other person taller than you, she kind of leans down. She's like, kind of does one of these, gives you an eye.
Well, if I do well enough in one of my spells, I can actually knock them all on their ground and disarm them at the same time. And that could be our opening, and they would be vulnerable to you afterwards.
She doesn't say anything as usual, but she just kind of nods.
As usual, yeah, she just
Yeah.
All right.
she acknowledges.
Be a good way to at least start us off.
Where
I think I
would-
can work with this plan.
Where would Manus need to stand to be like on the sidelines as like a medic?
Well, as you guys approach and begin like asking questions, some of the combatants are directed, as you were told before, to the guest tent. So like behind the arena, there's so be like, I guess, where you guys are on the map. So like off in this direction, there's this tent here, but there's also many other tents over in this direction, all set up all over the place. It's a mess of people on horses. You start seeing the rest of the knights, you assume, who are preparing. Some of them are still strapping on gauntlets and different pieces of armor, getting their pauldrons attached and various other things. Being the ones that are up first, you assume that's why they're like it kind of in a rush. It looks like some of them are already ready, just kind of waiting. And then you see a lot of other combatants going in and out of various tents, and then you see one with a very large tent at the end, kind of in the middle, where there's a lot of people going in and out, and you assume that's probably the regular combatants' tent, the non-knights. You're kind of brought into that, led to a spot where there's a chair. There's like a basin of water. Looks like some kind of basic prep stuff, hand wrap stuff. You're not given any armor or anything like that, but there's some stuff to sharpen swords, various prep items like that. And it's really just like two curtains between you and the next group of people, but they kind of crammed all four of you into this, or the 3 players, god damn it, 3 players, one water wolf
team.
chick, and Hatano into one little thing. I'm gonna have to like write down the specific 5 that are competing because I'm gonna forget again. But yeah, you 5 are kind of crammed into your own little thing, as I said, with like these few things to prepare yourselves. Manus is pulled aside, and first they give you this kind of wooden necklace thing with like a twine string that's to wear around your neck to identify yourself. And then first you're led past like you see a like 3 or 4 different they look like a couple of priests, some clerics. You see like, being a cleric yourself, you have like an idea of like what they might be. You spot a couple of Navajan guys, and then you see like a Shadar one. He's like in full armor. Looks like he's just as ready as the knights are to joust. Maybe he even is one, possibly. But you see a couple of priests as you pulled past, and then you're pulled into another box where there's like 4 or 5 other priests standing to the side that kind of like give you the tip of the head. And you see on their little weird things, it's just like kind of a coin shape, but it's colored red instead of just being blank like the other ones were, the ones that you saw that you'd passed before. You're gonna left and you're all right, you stay in here until your team comes out, and then we'll come and get you. And yeah, you're not in a box, by the way. You can't see anything, but you're like kind of under where the royals would sit, essentially, or the lordly rich people. It's kind of like a shaded box here where you can kind of see most of the arena, pretty good portion of it. Would you like to do anything else?
Not really much else to do.
I was talking about Manus as a well. Of course, I'm going to come back around to you guys, but I was talking about
Sorry.
Manus first. You're good.
I
You're
got
good.
lost for a second.
You're all right.
I'd like to ask someone about the special pendants that have the red dot on them. I'd like to.
Well, yours also has a red dot on it. And when you ask, they're like, "Oh, it just means that yeah, you've got a group that you're supposed to heal for. That's all it means."
Thank you.
So we all we have a knight that we have to answer to, so here we are. Who's your knight?
Manus. I do not serve a knight. Not in the traditional sense, anyhow.
So you serve what, a team? Or a duelist? Perhaps a famous duelist, huh?
I serve a team and a few duelists. A merry band.
I heard they were missing a knight. Did you hear anything about that?
I did not.
Yeah, they said something about one of the knights got sick last night and wasn't able to join up for the tournament. His armor's still all there and his gear. He gave no word if he was going to sponsor anyone, and no one stepped up. But there's a hole in the tournament for the jousts. Current vacancy. But that's just rumor. That's what I heard this morning. And the other one's just kind of like nodding. There's like, yeah. Like, I've not seen your kind around here before. What are you a priest of?
Balos.
Really? That, one of the Aragos folk, are you? Not used to... you're not like the rest of that lot, are you?
No.
Ah, okay. You know, just, no, bad, everything that's not human is bad, you know, like that. That load of bollocks. Yeah,
There's a reason I'm here and not there, my friend.
well, that's good to know. And I don't have to feel like this is weird then. And then these guys won't try to fight you. Okay. And then you...
Looks
Go-
at me and says, "What is your name?"
Oh, I'm, Trev. I'm a priest of, Caroless. Just a human. Just a human with, like, kind of reddish hair. And he's just like, yeah, I, kind of became a sort of a priest last year, and, now I've been keeping up with it. And I like it. And it's pretty great. Nature and trees, and it's all wonderful. The splendor of the world around us and all that. But, I'm in the service of, Count Neris, but he sponsors a knight. He's, I don't remember his name. He goes through a night a week for these things, so I forget his name. But, yep, the old Count, he's, pays me well to keep his knights alive if they get hurt.
Of luck to you and to your knight.
Alright, so the group that is in fact fighting, how are you prepping? Or do you want to do anything to prep?
I was gonna ask if I could go back and prep any of their weapons, because that is something I was gonna do for
Okay.
them if they want.
Does anybody need any prep done for their weapons? Anything in particular you want done?
So So that means that like weapons are allowed, right? Like,
Yeah, the weapons are definitely allowed.
I'm asking because I thought that like it would be limited to like only specific categories. So.
Oh no, there's really the only thing they bar is like maces, because obviously most malls and clubs over a certain size essentially is all it is.
Jug sword legal.
Is
Nobody
my
has-
sword legal?
I say we'll find out. It is a sword, so it's kind of hard to dispute.
So if I keep the deadly sharp part pointed towards the enemy and not the huge, flat, more safe part heading towards them, it's fine.
I mean, you definitely saw some larger swords when you guys came in, some Montantes and some very big, like, great swords. And some various other larger size swords. So, Jug's sword might be surprising, but not overwhelming necessarily. Definitely catch a few people off guard, though.
It's not overwhelming until you try to lift it. That's where the overwhelming part comes from. It's like, what the fuck? This is heavy as hell.
Okay.
Yeah, does anybody need their weapon sharpened or their weapon prepped in any way?
My
don't
weapon
think
is
we're,
I think a
good.
diamond dulls, does it?
What was that, Jack?
What can you do for my wand?
Might be able to tune it if you'd
Sure.
like.
Please.
All right, cool. Do I have to make any rolls to do that?
No. If you're gonna, like, just clean it,
Yeah, just like
It's-
clean it and tune it, make sure his wand's working, and like
so, kind
ready
of
to fire off some spells.
wiping it down, putting a new coat over the wood to protect it, kind of knock it against the lamp a couple of times, and it kind of gets this sort of faint hum to it, and the dude which is just like kind of. I'm imagining what Manus does is he kind of like taps it against the lamp and then like holds it to his ear to listen to it. It's kind of almost like a.
Tuning fork.
I was gonna say almost like he's tuning a tuning fork, which is like a weird thing to say, but it's kind of in that he's like listening to it and he's like, that sounds right, and he hands it back to you, Jack.
And then he looks to Jug and he's like, "You need your sword. Does your sword need sharpened?"
I haven't hit anything with it yet. And after your treatment when we first made it, it should be fine. Prepped for battle already.
Okay.
I'd ask Revian, but I know his sword's fine. It's forged by the gods.
Yeah,
There's no
He
reason.
don't like help in the sword form.
Yeah, exactly. So can I stay with them, or do I need to go back with the other clerics?
You're not told to like stay there, but that's just they show you that's kind of where the rest of the clerics seem to gather. So if you actually leave that box, nobody really stops you or anything.
I'll just head back with them. So I bid you all farewell and a quick blessing of luck and all that, and then I head back to the cleric box.
Hatano probably asked you to like look at her sword as well at some point. I imagine the morning before.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Lupa doesn't really carry anything. So if you want her to use something, you'll have to give her something. Otherwise, she's just going to punch fist.
Give her a really,
She does
is
have
it
the
like a
diamond
really
sword. We did
big.
give her that.
Oh yeah, we were gonna give her the
I was
sword.
about to say he was going to test out the other diamond sword.
The diamond
Yeah.
sword? Okay. So, running her through kind of how to use that early in the morning. Crash course on saber fighting, which is not actually. It looks a lot different from fencing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen saber fighting. It looks, it's pretty fucking cool, actually.
Yes, it is. Saber fighting is glorious.
It's very circular motion-y. It's very like kind of like these sort of motions with your hand like this. It's very interesting. Like, you know how professional fencers, they kind of get their arm in that weird posture sometimes? The very posh-looking ones that get that sort of, like, stance? It's like that, except they have a saber, and it's more like these sort of motions that are very long and very
Yeah,
wide and open.
It's similar to rapier fencing with the emphasis on cutting instead of
Yeah, because, like, a lot of the strike motions are more like this, and you lean into it, and you bring it across. And then, like, the parries are so rapid. It's like you bring it around, and then it's like parry immediately.
Okay. I have never seen a form of fencing where parrying is such a big part of it.
It's so
than
fluid.
saber fencing.
Yeah, because like rapier fencing is so like clunky in it, and like it's so jabby and like quick and precise, whereas like saber fencing is like it is very fluid. It's very cool. Hold on just a second, I'll plug my phone in. Yeah. Come on.
Why did Discord open the Help Center tab like freaking 50 times on my browser?
Good question.
Help.
The hell?
Panicking.
That's the AI going, oh shit, something went wrong.
Okay. So, crash course on saber fighting. And some weapons prep done.
Me and Loop are going at this fresh with sword techniques.
Yeah.
Better way to test it.
It's a good way to test it and how much you were paying attention to anything.
Ever.
Okay. So, don't forget, I'm not going to string this out super long. We're probably going to skim it pretty quickly because time, not time today, but time overall in general. We're trying to, this is technically downtime. I don't want to shorten it too much. I wish we had I wish we could do this for like 3 sessions because this would be super fun. But I want to condense and get closer to the end because I don't want to distract from the point of what we're here for and what you guys are doing. Oh yeah, I forgot there's candle wax all over this. That's nice. That lamp fell and it hit the Sensi burner, which is right there. And it's exactly the right length off of the desk that it hit it directly, and then it spilled it over on everything on this side of the desk. That took me like an hour to clean everything.
Yes.
So, you guys are all in the tent, and Manus, you're down with the other clerics, and you hear kind of this, this like handheld bell sort of, like a guy walking, like one of the stewards begins walking through the center of the arena. The rope is already out, and he begins beating against this bell thing. Clang, 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 and everybody kind of starts to sit down and get quiet, and all of the people around begin taking their seats and stuff. And that's the wrong thing. I was trying to open Kenku. Yeah, so everybody begins to sit down, take their seats, get quiet. You hear the royals beginning to take seat overhead of you, Manus, and contestants, as well as the knights. You are all called out to come into the arena for the beginning. And you walk out, and all of the knights are on their horses. I guess I could use the map as a visual. So, all the knights are placed on the side opposite the royals, along here, and all kind of facing up towards that area there. And then all of the other contestants are brought out along here, just in front of the rope. And as the 5 of you are standing there, and you look down this line of, you kind of brought up last, you look down this line of like a bunch of contestants. Like 80% of them actually walk out and like draw their sword and set it down in the dirt, and they actually kneel. You see a bunch of them like actually kneel down. You see a couple of the contestants that don't. They look foreign. They look like from further places away than here. But yeah, there's a group of them that takes a knee, and the knights sit in a line, the horses stamping occasionally, and then it gets very, very quiet as one of the lords steps up and he says, "Welcome to the end of the summer competition. I am glad to see many of you in attendance. I am Lord Carrot, as you know me. I am from the Heartland. Some of you may not know me, but here I am. I want to encourage good, clean competition as much as we can, though I know it's as filthy as it can be." You kind of hear a few cheers at that one, like, And he smiles and nods, and he says, as always, we will begin with the largest spectacle, which is the joust. And then he gets another larger cheer off of that one. He's like, yes. Unfortunately, one of the knights is ill today, so we will be short one of the knights. So, one of the knights will advance in his bracket, if not challenged before his time to take the lance. And the archery competition will be last, for those that are not aware. And I have nothing else. Let the games begin. And then we start to cheer and clap, and now all the knights begin to file out, and the other contestants take up and get up off the ground and begin to wander aside. And one of the stewards comes back out again, and comes out and unrolls a little scroll, and he looks around and he says, okay, everyone. Alright, we're gonna get this started. We have... First on the list is Sir Declan Lowe of Deus. I mean, how do you say it? Jace? I forget. Dame Layla Barrett of Nisengard. We have Dame Vera... He's a northerner name. Dame Vera Vasyelna of Visoki. We have Sir Phoenix Truman of Raynar. We have Sir Trench of Lagastima. And then everybody kind of gets quiet for a second. And then he kind of reads out a few more names, and then people begin talking again. They're like, everybody, whenever he says Sir Trench, everybody kind of stops. And then kind of like goes back to talking again, kind of awkwardly. And you guys aren't led like out, you're just led to the borders of the arena. Out of the way of where the knights can begin jousting. And he finishes the list of contestants of the joust. And he says, first up is Sir Declan Lowe of Jace. And, quite a spectacle. Sir Trench of Lagastima. Yes. So, if you would line up, gentlemen, and we will begin this joust in kind. He rolls up the scroll, motions over the flag boy, probably like 15-year-old kid, comes out with a flag, and, you spy on the opposite end of where you guys are in the arena, over on, like, this side. So, like, you guys, you guys are on, like, kind of on this end, if you're looking at the map itself in, Albert. He lines up over on this side to begin. But first you see him step out from kind of off to the side. He's like Lupa's size. He's fucking massive, but he's like a wall. You swear you can hear his footsteps from over here. And everybody gets really quiet as he begins to walk out. And like all the talking and everything seems to kind of die down as everybody kind of looks over at the other end of the arena. No helmet under the arm, he just has a lance in his hand, resting over the shoulder, and he's just thunk, thunk, thunk. And he walks up and he grabs the saddle horn of this massive horse, and he throws his leg over and he climbs up. And he sets his lance, and takes the reins, looks over at the boy, and he nods. And a lot of people are kind of like, kind of looking back and forth. He's wearing black as night armor with this like golden filigree all over it with swirls and lines, and some of them actually look like not flowers, like flowers in the sense of like old the way they used to paint old royal flowers, kind of like a fleur-de-lis sort of look, but kind of in that vein of flowers painted in gold all over his armor. The helmet isn't like super ornate, same as the rest of the armor, black with the gold filigree like painted on, and you can't see any features, you see nothing, you just see kind of like a the front of the helmet. I'm trying to think of how to describe exactly. I don't know the technical term for what it is, but instead of any sort of like open wide visor, it's just two thin slits, and then all along the front of the face is just like the tiny holes for air, as well as the little bit of extra visibility it might provide. No detail you can make out on
Gladiator
this
mask.
guy. Kind of. I'll make a Hero Forge of it today. I wasn't able to today. We were playing Mario Kart for a long time, so I didn't get to. But I'll make a Hero Forge so you guys kind of get an idea. But you get nothing off this guy, and he takes his lance. He nods to the referee, and you like faintly hear from across the arena, only because it's so silent. You hear, "For the Queen," and everybody like kind of sits back, and the little referee boy pulls the flag up. He stops and he goes, "Oh," and he blows it towards the castle, and then he takes the flag and he waves it, and then they begin the joust, and they ride, and clang, and then the jousting is underway. Multiple rounds go by. Sir Trench dehorses the first guy like that. It is instant. There's no question. It is like just a huge start. The nice looking Sir Declan, he gets up and he picks up his lance off the ground. He hops up on his horse. He's got a smile, and he kind of gives a one of these over to Sir Trench, whom of which doesn't like. He's riding, and Sir Declan kind of gives him one of these, and he just kind of begins to turn his horse and ride to the other end of the arena, like literally, like he didn't even see him.
Damn.
Like,
Damn.
Luigi death stare, dang.
Hell.
if anybody wants to try and roll anything to figure out about this guy, you can.
I'll roll. We're
If you
gonna roll.
want.
What do you gotta roll for it? Yeah.
So you guys don't know who this is, but you might get an idea of like why everyone is so silent.
Especially
That's about the
Jack,
best I
who's
could
got a
hope to roll
cousin.
for.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jack.
We do have a token for Lupo. We just left it on the ship.
Yeah, this character wasn't brought up at all for Jack, so even Jack's uncertain. So Jug wants to try and figure this out. Let's roll plus wisdom to see if you kind of get an idea. Actually, you would actually be the one to probably figure this out. So go ahead and roll. Let's see what you got,
I
Jug.
fucking doubt it.
I was about to say, did what
There
I
ain't no fucking way.
Ball fishing?
I just rolled an 18 plus 1.
Oh, nice.
19.
That's a success, baby!
Ask me 3 questions from the Discern Realities.
Fuck. Shit, hang on. I gotta look it up. I forgot about. I haven't used this move in like just like one time this entire campaign.
Well, we've been kind of
Would you like me to read them?
intersplicing
No. I need to look
game
it up.
rules here.
Well, Discern Realities. Okay.
I'll be back in a second anyway. I gotta do something real quick.
All good.
One.
Let's ask the big one. What here is not what it appears to be?
This is no just night. Because of your status back home, you understand that this is a night of royalty in some way.
Okay, he's here for the queen more than just some knight who loves his royalty. He's here on business. Let's see. Maybe. Fuck, I don't know.
They,
Man, I don't know. I don't know which one of these questions. They're all. A few of them are pretty good, and I only got 2 more.
well, after the first one, hang on, let me see if the. Oh, wait, that might actually work better. This sounds a little better, I think. If I remember correctly. Oh, no, that sounds like indoors. Never mind. I was wrong. We'll go back to this one. This one works. So everybody kind of goes back to talking now after like the first tension is broken, and he gets up and he remounts his horse, and you hear Lord Carrot from up the stairs. He says, "Go again. Give him a good show, even though you were dehorsed. Give him one more joust for the crowd." And everybody kind of gives a cheer, and he's like, "Yeah." And Sir Declan kind of waves to everybody, He gets up on his horse, and they hand him a new lance, and he sets himself, straightens his helmet, rolls his shoulders, and sets the lance. And they take off and dehorsed again. Like, just crash, bang, and then he goes straight to the ground. And he kind of gets up. His helmet stayed on this time, and he gets up and he kind of looks up at this massive figure on a huge horse. It's just absolutely insane. And he kind of shakes his head a little bit and kind of gives a wave to the crowd again. And they give another friendly cheer as he leads his horse out. And the jousting gets underway. It goes back and forth. Many jousts are had and won and lost. These different characters coming up, from various places around Benethelzor, not Arcanesia, I was going to say. As you guys would know, as from around Benethelzor, as well as from a couple of other places up north, and around different parts of Greenfell. And they get up to the end, and the last two to come up are, of course, Sir Trench, and then it's the lady from Nizengard up north in Greenfell, and she actually pulls it through in the first round. She breaks a lance, which you guys know is, you get several points for that. If you get big splintery break, she gets a huge splintery break on the lance, and Sir Trench actually misses. They go again, and she hits. The lance doesn't break, but she does hit, and he gets a hit on her. They round, take up another lance, and they ride at each other again, and Sir Trench actually misses again, and she breaks the end off of the lance. Not as big shower of splinters like it was before, but it breaks the end off, and the competition is called in her favor. And the steward comes down and he says, "Sir, Dame Layla Barrett of Nizengard is your champion." And he makes no motion, he makes no move, same as he did in every single round you watched him. He pulls the horse aside and rides off to the other end of the arena. And you see him actually go out of the arena, and he begins to ride up the street. And then that's it. You hear nothing else from him.
Holy shit.
A knight straight from the queen. Came in, lost the competition, and left.
Yeah, you only really heard him speak once or twice, that deep, kind of like the captain's accent, which might give you some ideas of where she might be from, but that deep Greenfell accent far to the south, anytime that he spoke. You don't even fucking know where Legastema is. None of you have ever heard of it. But yeah, deep accent. Then the next part of the competition is taken up, and the 3 versus 3s begin to start.
Boy, here we go.
Oh, should I use my next 2 questions?
If you would like, yeah, go ahead. You can use them any. You've got them stocked up, so I believe they work like
Okay.
holds. So whenever you want to ask.
Oh shit. Well, you guys got an idea which one I could ask now, or should I hold off because I've just got 2 sitting in the bank?
Now the question is, can he use those on anybody, or is it just about him?
Yeah.
I mean, he's surveying the area. He's keeping an eye out. He's discerning the realities. So theoretically, he could ask about anything.
I'd
We
wait to
know
use
who
it.
our opponent is.
Yeah.
Can he discern anything about them would be my question.
Well, the crowd begins taking up speaking again, as it seems there's like a sort of a break taken, and like 2 or 3 minutes go by, and then the steward comes back out again. And, all right, everybody, quiet down. We are going to get started with the next part of the tournament here. So up first, we have some of the 3 versus 3s, and let's see, let me go to the list here. Who's up first? Let's see, we have Isabel Gordon, and let's see, Lucien Lambert, and let's see, Anthelme Babin. Interesting name. Ah, I see, you're from Chocolate. Okay, so those 3 are up first, versus, and he names off like 3 other people, and then he goes and he begins to read off the second match, and it's not you guys again, and he reads off the third match, and he says, and for the third match, we have, oops, I'm accidentally minimizing all of my tabs when I'm trying to click on them. He begins to read it, and he says, let's see, okay, so we have Revian, and then we have Lupa, and Jug. He kind of stops and just kind of squints a little bit at the list, shakes his head slightly. Like, it's like, if you weren't, like, staring at him from across the arena, probably would have missed it. He's kind of like, gets one of those, and he says, and they are facing, this team of 3 is facing against Adril Ken, Buthik Vengeltraprit, with the title of Aladhi Layazam from Ramal, and their third team member, which is Falco Heisler from Westlich. Those will be the 3 facing off against this other group of 3. I honestly don't know where the other 3 are from, but let the first match begin.
Right.
And
before we get started,
I would say
using.
what
I was
should
gonna
everybody
say-
on the lookout for and useful
That's
information.
That's what I was gonna use for this fight. Is what should I be on the lookout for? Looking at these 3 fighters.
So this Adril Ken guy seems like your kind of your standard kind of man-at-arms brawler guy. He's got like looks like a bill hook. So if you don't know what a bill hook is, it's like a spear, and then it's got like a hook piece that comes off the side. It's kind of like this. I can't make this shape with my hand. It's kind of this shape.
Yeah.
Very, very useful. Very good weapons in combat in any form that it takes. Beats most swords and like hand like axe-based weapons like very, very easily hand over. Whatever the phrase is for very easily. It takes no
Hand over
trouble.
fist.
Yeah, spears and long weapons like that do very well against things like swords and like axes and stuff like that. And then this Buthik Ven, the one from Ramal, seems to just have a sort of, kind of looks like the saber that Lex has been making, actually, except it's just a regular, like, kind of Ramalian saber with just kind of that flat crossguard with the typical swirls, and there's like one side of the crossguard swirls down, the other one swirls up, and it's got this big curve. Very nice looking sword with that weird sort of clip that comes up the side next to the blade. If anybody's familiar with Arabian sabers, kind of have that weird clip thing. Pretty interesting.
I knew that's what kind of spear it was.
And then Falco Heisler steps in, and he actually draws out. He pulls out a sword breaker. This short, it's like this long, shaped like a sword, but it looks like a really big, dense dagger with teeth all along the side of it. One side's solid around the back, and then the other side is just teeth all the way down it that are long prongs, where you can catch a sword in it and break it off, or bend it, or damage it hard, very, very badly. And you see like a couple of other things kind of stashed over the back. You can't really see from where you guys are what's like over his shoulder, but you assume maybe like an axe, something like that, maybe like some kind of a one-handed axe of some kind, and maybe a shield. But they kind of draw out their weapons and they step up. Or no, they don't draw their weapons, because this is still the first match. So you see that on them, and as you watch the Falco Heisler guy, you see him step away, and it is in fact an axe, a one-handed axe and a shield over his back, and he's got like a sword breaker. But they all step off to the side. The first match gets underway, and it goes back and forth, and the the first group introduced wins, and the second match goes on. It goes back and forth, and you get some boos and some jeers and some you get this and that, and then you get some cheers for the winners at the end, as the second introduced team is the one that wins, and we have this advancing bracket beginning. And the crowd now quite excited for some combat. The names are called up again. They call up Revian, Jug, and Lupa to the center of the arena. And you hear some cheers, you hear some boos, just like some people that are unfamiliar, obviously. They have no idea who the fuck you are, so they just immediately boo!
Yeah, they're
Kind of like that sort of situation.
Lupa
awesome
would
folk with what
probably
looks like a
growl at 'em.
toolbox.
So now that I have the
Out
thing...
onto the field, or when I
That's-
come out to the side, like
Uh,
outside the field.
As you've been sitting through all of this, anybody that got injured or didn't, it seems like the clerics just kind of wait in that little box underneath the Lords and Royals box. They kind of wait in that little shaded spot there, and when somebody would get injured, they would walk out and they'd step out and go assist them, and they'd like come back. They seem to kind of stay centered in that little spot there, in this sort of cleric's box, as it were. But the three of you step out, and you get kind of a mixture of like boos and jeers. And then the other three come out, your opponents, and they stand across from you. And as you're looking across this arena, you guys have to like walk up, and you walk through the little entry point where I just realized Spotify isn't playing. You bastard.
Oh, I thought I was still listening
It'd
along.
be like that.
It paused.
Oh my god.
I guess while we're like we're just the two teams are walking towards each other, I'm just relaying the information of Lupa and Revian, like, see, basically I don't remember the names, but yeah, that guy,
I'll go
standard
after
bill
the
hook
first
fighter.
Big guy first.
Yeah, standard bill hook fighter.
Yeah, he's
guy with the sword
pretty average
axe
size. He's like, yeah, he's like not Manus' size. Manus is kind of small. Not like Jack's size. Kind of not super tall, not super short. And then the big one is the guy from Westlich. The guy with the sword breaker seems like a pretty big guy.
Axe and
Swordbreaker
shield
goes-
guy. He's got a sword breaker, bill hook, and then we have guy with the saber. So keep an eye out for that fighting style.
Which one do you think I should focus on first? With my
Which one do you
opening thing?
Which one
I
do you
would
feel more
say-
confident going against?
Well, I was thinking the big guy first, but then I remembered he's not the one with the bill hook, and that bill hook's gonna be a bitch.
I would probably have you guys keep in mind, sword breakers are very dangerous for any kind of blade.
Yeah, they don't
I'm
just,
not entirely sure they can destroy mine. They might be able to disarm me, but I don't think they can break mine.
that would be
I
the
think
concern
Jugs-
is being disarmed, because they're hard
I
to
think
get
Jugs
your
is-
weapon out of. They're designed that way.
They're
what
designed
about-
for disarming and for breaking swords specifically. So,
They won't
Yes.
break
Jug
it,
might
but they
be
will yank it
this-
away.
but they will
But-
yank it away.
Depending
think-
on how quick I do it, I can transform that weapon though.
I think Jugs would also be hard to catch in a sword breaker. And besides, don't forget, if Jug got
Probably
disarmed, right now, if Jug got disarmed, that would put them at a disadvantage.
Yeah,
then
Lug
he's fighting
has,
with
like-
Then it go back to normal.
Look, Jug has like the highest advantage when losing his weapon. He just has no disadvantage. He doesn't.
I have Jug go after Swordbreaker, then I'll go
I'll
after
hand-
the
yeah.
guy with Bill Hook and have Sloopa head after the one with the saber.
Okay.
Oh, a saber fight.
I see the cleric for this team because like Manus walks up to the edge of the box so he can see, and he kind of like leans on the edge of it towards the arena so he can watch. Do I see their cleric?
You don't see anybody for them specifically, and as you had spoken with them before, you know most of the ones that were in the box with you were mainly there for knights rather than fighters specifically. Anytime any of the clerics that did run out were usually the ones in the next little spot over, which is just separated by like curtain wool, like thick wool curtains, you assume for probably for like winter time, more than probably not right now, considering it would probably be lots of them all over the place if it was wintertime, but this looks like one that's more permanently set in the ceiling, but like separated by like a wool curtain. The other group, that's usually where the clerics ran out from to go and help in these last 2 fights for anybody that got some injuries, as well as any of the knights that were injured that didn't have a cleric in the box with you, because there's only 4 or 5 in the box with you, whereas there were many more knights than that. There were at least like 10 different knights that were in contest with the jousting. Okay. So, as I said, so on the map here, the way that it is set up for you guys is kind of in these 4 corners here. It is kind of roped off, and it's kind of across, and it kind of creates this sort of gap from the fences around, and well, I guess it would be more across from here. Excuse me. So it'd be like here, all the way down. All the posts being even with the jousting posts, the rope has just been rearranged and some ropes added to make this sort of ring. And how does everyone have a sort of entrance you would like to do as you walk into the arena?
Of course.
Give you the opportunity.
I'm walking on the right hand side of Revian, so that way I don't fucking hit either one of them with my huge sword. But
Do you have it out yet?
no, it's still in like toolbox form as
Okay.
we're walking.
So Jug could just walk under the rope if he wanted.
I just
Yeah.
hover over it.
Oh, so you're just gonna like
just
Count
gotta
Dooku
float
in the
up,
Clone
float
Wars
over it, and come back down.
animated and just like float over and then just set down again.
Quick step allows me a lot of stuff.
Lupa would probably just step over it.
Yeah, Lupa just like
tall enough to not care.
Lupa kind of like she doesn't make any sort of motion. She's just eyeballing these others across the arena, and she just steps over. No effort really because she's extremely tall. But they kind of like you see the Westlich one. He kind of cocks his head. He's got like a great helm on, and then like this cuirass, and then it's got like he's got padding around it to keep it from cutting him. But he's got like bare arms, and then like some thick leather gloves on, and then the billhook guy's got kind of like a kettle helm. It's like kind of looked like just a hat. Think World War I English sort of like army. It's kind of in that similar shape to that. If you don't know what a kettle helm is from medieval, back in the Middle Ages, but it's just sort of a round bowl with a flat brim. It's good to keep the sun out of your eyes. Good for protecting your head. And then the other one has this sort of like the typical head wraps of a Romalian, and but you see it's like some of it's reinforced with like some leather and things are placed in. You see some padding placed on to create some amount of protection if they wanted it. And they pull out this sort of intricate looking helm from behind them and they just put it on. And it kind of wraps around. It's metal, kind of a bowl, and then it kind of curves forward. It's got a very interesting kind of look to it, and they clasp it just under the chin, stay on, and then they draw that saber, and then they begin to step forward. And the referee boy comes out, and he looks back and forth. I'm assuming Revian probably kind of just levitates forward slightly instead of walking.
I was thinking about that, yep.
He looks at Jug, cocks
Jug
his head,
is,
looks at the
yeah,
levitating man.
Jug's got the toolbox walking at his side. He's waiting until he stops before he just
I do
flicks
have-
it, and then with just a whirl of dust from the sword as it extends probably to the fucking rope, just this big ass sword, and he's just holding it with one hand.
And I do have my ethereal looking sword, by the way, too.
Yes. So he like looks at Jug, looks at Revian, looks up at Lupa. Kind of is like,
Don't you mean up at me and then up at Lupa?
yes, like up at you, more up, and then kind of goes, and then he like holds the flag out, and he's kind of waits there, and the billhook guy kind of steps forward with the kettle helm and just kind of like a basic cuirass. He's got some thick, like gambeson on as well. Walks over and he reaches his hand out towards one of you, and he's like, I don't know I don't know who your leader is. Which one of you? You got a designated captain or whatever?
Revan, you want to be the captain of the team?
I step over.
He takes your hand and he's like, all right, if you're new to this, you're going to get cut probably. So that's what the clerics are here for. Yeah, just try not to think too much about it when it hurts. But they'll heal you up and make sure your wounds are closed and not mortal before you head on home tonight. So, yeah, let's have a good one. Floating guy.
I gave a chuckle.
Now this is a contact sport.
As everybody is staring at them, Manus looks to the other designated clerics and he says, "Those are my people."
Yes.
He kind of like,
Those are my guys.
the guy you were talking to before is kind of like,
That's my team.
huh, okay. Like rubs his head and is like, huh. And,
Hopefully this guy realized he was speaking to the inventor of the jet engine. There's too much change.
Oh no, that'll be in a couple months. He'll realize who the hell he was talking to.
He leans over the rail and just kind of laughs as he gets ready to watch the fight.
So the referee boy kind of motions for everyone to step back, and he kind of watches you all as you do, and then he kind of gives you like a stop motion whenever you get a certain distance apart. And he takes the flag and he waves it around, and then he steps back and he tucks under the rope. What would you like to do first?
Well, for one, if we're rolling initiative to who's going what, I would like to use my.
So
quick
this
step.
is actually going to be more on the side of a skill challenge. So place yourselves in the arena, and I shall place some enemies for you to kind of give us an idea of where everyone is. We will get into this here in a second. So essentially you guys are going to try to do stuff, they're going to try and do stuff, and we'll see what happens. So remember, the big thing through the middle, the ends of it are kind of the cross of where the rope is, but this center is cleared up. There's nothing there. So all of this is big open space. I'll show you as I set these guys down.
So we're more or less standing more over toward this way.
Hang on, I'll show you. It'll be more like this. Facing this way.
Which means you'd probably. Oh yeah, you said you were on the right, didn't you?
All right. So now, see, I'm trying to give us some like fighty tavern music. Where is it? Wait, hang on. Maybe this one. I haven't listened to this playlist in a long time. This one will work. But so
I can
he
swing a sword to this.
so he waves the flag and everybody cheers as you all begin to angle and begin to take your steps towards each other. What would you guys like to do first?
I would like to cast choke on the billhook guy.
Okay. So this will essentially be a skill challenge. So each of you will have an opportunity to do something each round. You guys can each like do multiple things, but you'll have to try something different if you do a second thing each round. Which you can have Lupa do something if you like. But if you would rather have the two of you roll for something, just keep in mind you won't be able to use a skill a second time within the best of 3.
Or would you rather me control and do Lupa's rolls so I can do that?
It's up to you guys.
Hey,
Probably
I was
better to have you do
curious-
it.
I was
Alright.
curious as to how many hit points she would.
I think she has more than Lex, actually.
I
Lex
don't
is
remember. I think you had the stats. I don't know if I had them.
I don't recall. If I did have the stats, all that stuff is on my list.
I know she has 1 armor.
I think she had like 20
So I'm gonna say she's got
Which is still. more
so she's
than
got about
twice.
18 health.
Okay, she has the same amount of health as this.
Question.
Okay. So Reving, you're gonna step out and cast a spell.
That was the plan.
All right, go ahead and roll your cast a spell.
24.
24. So you guys all step in, and these two advance first, and then Billhook guy, who's this guy here, actually begins to choke. He begins to.
Now,
And he's like holding the Billhook.
the really important part of this
Mhm.
was that if I rolled a full success, Heavy Gust took effect.
Okay. So heavy gust. So he begins to choke, and he's holding the billhook, and then you see the dust begin to swirl a bit, and the haft is like yanked from his hand, and he's like blown back on his ass, and he's just like, it's like making hand motions. He's like, he can't say anything, and
The reason this was important is because Heavy Gust is the one that hits multiples.
so
It
roll
hits
your
1d6 people.
okay, roll your
And knocks
1d6.
them over and disarms them. Alright. I got a 3.
So they begin to
Nice.
step forward, and then
Damn.
like he goes down, and they turn around and look at him, and then like and they fall over, and they're just like looking around, and they're like, "What?"
I figured that would help them out on their rolls.
So
Also, he takes 1d8 damage. I think it was 1d8 or 1d6.
this isn't a damage event.
Okay, just check it.
Let's see.
Yeah, plus 1 forward against the target, by the way. For
Okay,
allies.
and how high was your roll again?
24.
24. Okay. So hang on. Look at something. Yeah, so you guys take that round pretty easily. No problem.
Jesus.
So they all fall over. What do Jug and Lupa do to take
What's
advantage
up,
of this
next one?
moment?
So Lupa's gonna run at the guy who has the sword breaker. And she's
Swordbreaker's
gonna
here.
Take his sword. Yes.
Oh wait, she's taking up the Swordbreaker?
Oh no, so Snaperman. Sorry, I apologize.
He's the one in the middle here.
So, yes. Okay. So yes.
He's on the ground.
Yep. She's gonna take his saber and break it.
Okay, so Lupa's moving up this way, up towards this one. Jug.
Alright. Jug's gonna form one of the first moves of his fighting style, finally.
Okay.
And he has his sword out. He's got it in two hands. And then he's going after the Swordbreaker guy.
Yes.
What kind of armor was he wearing?
Just like it's
Sure,
like
I
a
don't-
cuirass with like some padding around the edges to keep it from like cutting into the skin or anything, and like a great helm.
And I'm gonna try not to hurt him too bad. Jug's going to
Just a bit.
the first step he's gonna take. Jug's gonna use all the muscles in his legs to just shoot forward, and then right like at the halfway point between him and the guy, he's going to swing his sword into the ground to hit the tip, one of the corners of the sword right into the ground, which then makes him start spinning straight towards the guy.
Oh my god.
And then he's gonna like take a forward stab just right at the dude's chest.
Okay.
Oh, spinning. No, forward slash.
So the one guy begins to choke, and you guys step up, and Lupa like swings at the saber individual and like actually tries to reach out and like either grab or break or do something to the the opponent's saber, and like swings down and like finds that the blade has like met with theirs, and they're just like just barely got it up to keep it from like being snapped in two, and then like pushes to the side, and then like kind of rolls over towards the Swordbreaker guy, rolls up onto their feet, and then Swordbreaker guy, you hit him across the like middle of the torso, and he kind of spins off and like flies away from the Swordbreaker, and he comes up and like just like axe and shield up like immediately, and he just like whips it up, and he begins running towards you. For narrative's sake of an interesting competition, choking guy kind of like as the spell wears off, he kind of like gets up and he's like, whoa, picks up the billhook and begins to move towards you guys. As this is not like a combat, this is just fun combat. He begins to step up and he doesn't quite make it all the way up. So we'll enter the second round of this sort of challenge. Who wants to do something now?
You have a few enemies next to you. Do a big ass swing with the driven.
I have an idea of what Jug could do
Jug
fighting
and
this
Lupa
Swordbreaker.
probably could do that.
So who's going? Because I got an idea. While I'm attacking.
If
Oh,
Revian goes
actually,
again, he'll have to use
I
like some
have
sort of different skill.
Yeah, I realized that. And I was just gonna go up and hit him with my sword, then with hack and slash. Billhook guy.
Okay.
Oh wait, you want to do a big swing? I know what to do. So what if Lupa turned into a wolf and we turned this into a jousting match with Joe holding a freaking big sword?
Dude, you have no idea how many times that's come to my head since last week.
Yeah.
No idea.
I did offer the opening that nobody seemed to catch.
Oh, I did.
It was
no, I
there,
saw
but it was
me.
like, it's like if anybody felt like taking it up,
Noticed.
wanted to make a point of it, but I was gonna harp on it too much
Jug's
because
not
then.
a jouster.
All right.
Joe just freaking does a drive-by with.
So who's it gonna be? We going with Revian
Yes.
on the hack and slash?
See, I could do a hack and slash because that's strength, right?
Yeah, hack and slash is strength.
Manus is going.
I guess
crazy.
If it's
Lupa
if it's
slash
between
as well.
if it's separated between the, it's like one stat per character. So like, if Jug was also a wizard, you could also cast a spell. But if you were to try it, you wouldn't be able to do that again, and you'd have to try a different sort of thing to try and win the next round of rolls. This is essentially what I'm saying. It's like a character can go twice, but they have to use like different skills each time, or multiple characters have to go.
Oh, I have a hack and slash ready
So
against the Billhook fellow.
Okay.
if you want to go, you can go ahead. I'll hold off till the next round unless we win this.
I rolled really good.
Okay. So what did you roll?
23.
Very nice.
I roll plus wisdom. I got an 18.
Yeah, that's true. So, so you step up. What does this round look like? As you guys are all like, you're in the midst of a sort of duel going on here now.
Well, when I hit his Billhook, it's gonna be forceful because of the sword.
Okay.
So he's gonna get knocked back at the minimum.
So he comes in to try and go for a stab, and he like turns it to try and hook at your sword, and he misses.
Or no, messy. It's messy, not forceful.
Okay. So what happens?
Possibly hits the shaft and shatters the shaft of his polearm.
Oh yeah, you hit it, and it like
Maybe.
like you hit part of it, and it like small like a small piece of it just kind of detonates in that small area there. Just the pure force of both the sword wielder and energy involved. It's like small splinters break away as like the tip of the billhook falls away, and he goes, "Oh shit!" And steps back. Lupa and Jug, what about you guys? What happens on your end of things?
Wide swing to the
Jug's
left
like-
and the right. See if you can smash them together between the swords.
That sounds like a good idea.
Oh my God.
That's what Manus is yelling from the cleric stand. He's like, smash him with the swords.
Sandwich them together. Hit him with the chair.
So are we both rolling for this, or is
No,
it
no,
just-
you're not rolling. You're just we're creating a narrative here. We're playing a bit of a narrative game.
I think that third one may have already been finished.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I get it. Juggles, see where Lupa's swinging for a split second, backs up from where he is, and like does his weird little spin, and just swings it broadside right into the other side of
Oh my god. This is
whoever
perfect
Lupa's
shit.
fighting, I guess.
Okay,
No
so
idea
yeah,
the what's going through my head every time you say that.
Lupa gets like there's a couple strikes come in, and Lupa, being the novice here, like takes a couple of them and then steps back and is not doing so great. And then Jug's sword comes out of nowhere and like hits this individual across the chest and torso up to the shoulder, and like sends him spinning off backwards. How do you send off the man of Westlich, the guy with the sword or the axe and the shield?
Fucking. Oh, me versus this guy?
Who's hitting him? I don't know.
See, I was fighting Swordbreaker. Oh, fuck, man. There was so
You
many.
said that guy spinning off.
From the top. Yeah, he pulled out the axe and shield after he got knocked away with the
So
sword.
he comes in, shield up, and he kind of like brings it over the top and goes for like kind of over the head swing. Well, I guess down. He goes kind of down at you as you strike it at his teammate.
Well, this thing has a handle in the middle, so Jug just immediately just like spins his sword around, looks like he's gonna stab the guy, but then grabs the handle and just wherever he's hitting, just kind of like swipes his attack to the side, holding both of the handles, and then he's just gonna immediately jump to the top of his sword and just swing.
So he's like parry it off to the side and jump up and then swing. You hit him on one side, and then Lupa comes in and like rings the bell, and he just kind of like steps back, and he holds up a hand, and the billhook guy holds up a hand, and the other guy, the saber wielder, also gets up and like holds a hand up, and the referee boy comes out and he says, "Match," and he says, "To the whatever they are, these three, the nameless ones."
And Jug will fold his sword back and start
Yeah.
walking back.
And you get
I'm gonna
a
reach down and just pick him up as I float away.
Son of a bitch.
And then
So-
I place him on Lupa's shoulder.
So you are met with some cheers, and the first match is for you guys is ended, and then you get into a because there's more people. There's actually fewer rounds of all of this. So you go from like kind of the first round, then you go into the sort of semifinals between two teams, and then you go into the I guess it would be the final. I'm thinking shorter than that, but you go from the first round into this sort of semifinal where like you got two different groups that face off on one end or the other. So you've got these two groups and these two groups, and you've got a final, and then that's it. So you guys are led away for the next round to begin, and it's the first group that was announced versus another group, and they come out, and the first announced group end up winning, and they step to the side, and then you were all called out again and brought into the arena to face off against another group. You see one of them is actually a dark elf, and to your surprise, and is introduced as being from Timberend, actually.
While in
I ain't
between
far from here.
rounds, I transformed my sword into its gun form and loaded it with immediate blast in prep.
Okay.
Lupa probably would have turned
Sword
into a
sharpened,
wolf
or does
form.
anybody need a weapon too?
Actually, you know what? I won't waste a bead blasting for this. Just in case.
Well, I mean, it'd be
I'm out.
pretty funny.
It would be. You know what? Yeah, I think I've got 7. I'll use one of them for
I
this.
forgot we had 7. Yeah, go ahead.
I
who's-
restock.
So who's riding on top of Lupa, since she seems quite interested to see what she can do in her roof.
Jug,
Let's see.
because I'm flying.
Nope.
My thing doesn't actually say a limit of how long I can fly.
Yeah, mine doesn't either. However, mine unfortunately has to be casted. It is also quite loud.
Loud. I just kind of decide whether or not I'm going to float or not. I guess from time moment to moment.
I honestly don't know what Jug would do in this situation. On a normal day, he absolutely would have hopped on Lupa's back, but right now he's just like, no, I'll use my own strength to beat the shit out of these guys. I can charge
He's got
too.
something to prove.
That's
Watch his, swipes his foot back on the ground, and then just like you can see his muscles flexing. Just he's ready to just jump towards somebody.
Lupa just rolls her eyes.
Getting real close to doing the Yoda spiral.
Yoda spiral.
Trying to find a one to switch it to.
Can I do my opening
one we were
volley
on.
before y'all go in again? And then I'll let y'all have at it. Because that's going to go boom.
Okay.
10 feet radius.
So are we ready for the semifinal round?
Sure.
All right. The flag is waved, and you are let out against a couple of people who were also introduced from Timber End, as well as a Dark Elf from Timber End. One of them is wielding kind of like a pole axe. The other one's got just kind of like a one-handed sword and like a buckler. And then the Dark Elf comes out with the signature double-bladed sword. But the signature is that the one blade is facing one way and the other blade is facing the other. The two blades face opposite directions, and they're kind of curved in a sort of
Confused catway.
yeah. I forget the word. Anyways, but they're slightly curved blades that face in opposite directions. Very signature of the Dark Elves. And they come stepping out towards you all.
Kamui, or Kama. I can't remember the name of it either. Damn it, it's close.
What? Scimitar.
Are you talking? Oh, yeah, that.
I was thinking scimitar. There it was. Kind of in that scimitar shape, kind of, but each of the blades on either end faces a different direction. And there's more handle than there is sword, so it's kind of almost more towards a spear than anything. This is not the music I was thinking it was going to be. It calmed down a lot. Come on. Where's the spicy tavern music? Oh, please. What about this one? What's this one? No. Unfortunately, no. No. Damn it, come on. Give us a good one. Ow. Okay, so what is the first move we're taking? Revian, are you going to shoot gun?
I'm going to bluster into the chamber of the gun to fire my bead of blasting at the guy in the middle.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your cast a spell.
Alrighty. That is a 16.
A 16, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, give us one. I haven't listened to this playlist in so long, so I don't know which ones are kind of upbeat. Surely there's more than like the one. Guess not.
And this is the ability that has forceful on it.
Ah.
Or forceful for the blasting beam, specifically in a 10-foot area.
No. Dang it. There we go. That's what I was looking for. I knew there was one in here. Alright. So you roll a 16. What was the rest of that information you were trying to give me?
Speed blasting affects a 10-foot area, 2d4
All right.
forceful damage. So it would have hit all three of them.
Yes, definitely would have hit all of them. I'm not going to take the time to measure it because it's a narrative fight. So let's see what they roll in comparison. Okay. So you all step up and let's close the gap here as you guys all step towards each other. They all kind of step in, and the dark elf, being this one here, I'll color him. Well, he's an Erun, so he's not purple. He's more bluish, grayish. So we'll just kind of go with a blue circle around him. Being their team captain, he comes stepping out with the double-bladed sword thing. The if you're familiar with their culture, you know they call it a twin blade. But you raise this to your shoulder and fire, and he actually who do you aim for?
The guy in the middle.
The guy in the middle. So he steps up and actually like brings the blade around, and like you hear ding as it like blasts off. A gunshot sound goes out, rings out, and he blocks it. And as he does, you hear this resounding like cheer ring out through the arena, like yeah! As he does that, and then he brings it around, twirls it, and brings it up, and then that comes towards you, Revian, and brings it in. The other two step up. They actually won that round. They come in and they exchange some strikes with Jug and Lupa as well. The Poleaxe having an advantage over Lupa in range, so she kind of like is like struggling. Like he brings it overhead, and I like wide and kind of fast strike, very telegraphing. Cat, what are you doing? Shelly.
Wait,
She's
you
not
used the
listening.
Peter blasting for that shot, did you?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Huh.
Would it have blown up in contact with his sword was my question. I was thinking the same thing.
Bringing that up. Okay, so since they did win the round technically, so like to your disappointment, he like deflects it and it like goes up, and then it like blasts into the air, so like he ricochets it up in the air. And actually causes Lupa to actually have to take a step back, and she raises the sword up to block from the poleaxe as it comes down. Jug, what happens in your exchange that kind of puts you on the back foot with this guy? The one that comes up with the one-handed sword and the buckler.
He's probably got himself in just like hand on the hilt and then hand on the middle hilt, just like trying to defend from these attacks.
Maybe like a
As he's, like, caught off
misstep
guard.
in your first move or something.
Yeah, and also he wasn't expecting that attack to just. Like he heard the explosion in the air, just like that actually didn't hit, and then just like and just a block.
Yeah, you guys have been sailing with someone who is Erun, who's of that particular culture, but he's just a cook. He's not a warrior of any kind, so you kind of forget, oh yeah, these guys are kind of the badasses of the whole fucking world, aren't they? It's kind of like I see, this is a one-man, this is a team of a guy with a twin blade, and he's followed around by a poleaxe and a sword. That's about it. That's about all they're good for in this case. So he steps in and he comes towards you, Revian, also trying to come in and make contest with you. Second round. Who wants to do what?
Okay. I'll roll a hack and slash and use some strength for this. Jug's backing up, defending himself from these attacks, takes some steps back, and then he's going to jump, and he's going to swing at the guy, making him think he's coming down at him, but he's actually aiming for right next to his feet, and then Jug's gonna fall towards the ground, like towards the other hilt, and then he's just gonna grab that hilt, spin around, and just smack the guy right in the side with the sword.
Oh yeah. Okay. go ahead and roll your hack and slash, sir.
Yes. I was actually gonna say, it would probably be wise to have,
27.
have Joe fight that full-arm guy.
Yeah, I doubt
It'd be
they.
hard
I
to
doubt
hit
they
him
win
from
this.
distance.
No, they rolled a 2. So, so what is?
I guess.
Ow!
Uh,
Holy crap.
All right, so
take him off guard.
yeah, so you definitely take him off guard and you actually knock the buckler away out of his hand, and he just barely gets the arming sword around to like block another attack as you come in for a secondary. Just barely makes it in time. Lupa actually takes the upper hand over this guy and like steps into his range and like grabs the pole axe and like goes to like step in on him and get into his bubble, and we'll leave her there just to see what flavor we get for the next round. And Revian, how do you get the hand over the dark elf, over the Arun with the twin blade?
Point-blank arrow of lance.
Oh, okay. So you whip up an arrow lance and like throw it against him, and he like just gets the twin blade up in time just to like to deflect it, but it is not a beautiful deflection. It's like a last second desperate deflection as he like steps back and is like blown off a bit. And then
If it's possible, at the same time, I would like to transform my gun back into a sword.
yeah, you spend a mana for that and transform your weapon. And now we go into the third and final round of this little back and forth. The deciding round. Who wants to do what?
I want to hack and slash this dude.
Okay.
He blocked my beat of blasting.
All right, go for it. Hack and slash with
And
wisdom.
Lupa's pissed.
19.
She'd probably turn into a wolf and try to actually like bite the pole of the pole axe and pull it out of his hands.
We shall see.
Just pissed.
What did you roll, Revian?
19.
19.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. So, wait, what were you trying to do, Revian? What was your final move here?
Hack and slash.
Hack and
With
slash.
my sword.
Okay. So he actually like deflects your strike with like surprising skill, and like kind of cuts you across the chest. Like not super hard. Hits the armor obviously for most of it. You get a little cut on your arm, and it kind of like shocks you and like sends you backwards a step, and then Lupa transforms into a wolf, and the guy with the poleaxe actually like takes it and like wraps it around her throat, like jumps up on her back, and it's just like wrestling for his life. And Jug, as you're recovering from this move, and he takes a couple of steps back to like hard block a couple of your strikes, he steps in and like gets within your range, and actually like comes in over the sword and like pokes you pretty hard in one of your like exposed places from your armor. They won the round.
Activate to.
Go for it.
Well, he also hits me. He just
Yeah.
puny weapons cannot harm me, and if I even succeed, I would just let the weapon shatter, even if he gets hurt.
Yeah, I
Just
definitely.
to let the guy know what's up. And Jug just like his eyes are, normally more wide open, but he's just kind of had a squint look this entire time, and he just like looks over at the guy as he does that.
So he comes in, he gets you, and then the sword, like the end of the sword breaks off, and he kind of goes, "What?" And then the referee boy comes out, and he like kind of is waving the flag in his hands, and he says, "That's the match. That's 2 points to the opposing team here." And he points to the Dark Elf team, and he goes, "They are the victors here. Thank you for competing." He kind of motions to the other end of the arena. They rolled a 20 to your 19.
Aw,
Yeah.
damn.
It's not over yet, though. We still got 1 versus 1s. So
Yeah, we still got money to be made there.
oh yeah. Oh gosh, nose is itching. So the combatants exit the arena.
Plus, I'm sure we'll get some money for coming in second in the 3v3s and duds.
Okay.
And you said we'd be third. There's still one more round after that for the 3v3s.
Okay, so this group goes up with the Dark Elf, and they face off against the original group introduced at the beginning. And you're now shown that this group with the Dark Elf, though the other two seem like obviously slightly less skilled, they are skilled enough because they swiftly dispatch of the original group from the very first match, and taking the 3v3s for themselves in the end. And the Dark Elf, of course, very gracious in his acceptance of it, and he gives like the very solemn nod and a bow, and he takes his twin blade and like takes it apart and then puts it in the double sheath. So they don't keep it as like a big spear weapon as they walk around. They like have like a double sheath that they put it in to carry it for convenience. And the other two following behind him as they're like, yeah, they're like, we got it, yeah. And they're happy about their gold coin prize that they've received, given a pretty hefty chunk of gold. And they exit the arena, and the 1v1s begin. And there's quite a lot more contestants for this one, with the ones from this group included, because I think you have Jack, you have Jug, you have Hatano, and I think
That was it for the singles.
Yes, okay.
That's
So-
definitely singles.
The steward comes out and he says, "Hello, everyone, and now we will begin with the 1v1 duels here in the arena." And they actually like shrink the arena a bit with the ropes, and they bring in these more temporary posts. They're not taut, but they hang. Seemingly because the groups of people probably aren't smashing into the edges of these, as you know, because there's not groups fighting each other. It's more of a skill thing rather than trying to be kind of batter and bash each other. You see a lot of swords amongst the ones that are stepping up to compete in this one. A lot more swords than you saw for the variation in weapons for the 3v3s. And they call out the first match, and Jack is actually up first versus... Let me check. They introduce a... let's see... a man from the south of Greenfell. His name's Cormac. He comes up and he's got just a very typical longsword. Nothing crazy. He's got a nice looking breastplate on. Nothing too fancy. And he steps up and acknowledges Jack. And the little referee boy comes back out again. Jack, is there anything you would like to do or say first before the beginning of the 1v1?
Okay, so when he looks to me, he notices that Jack is very still, almost like he's very heavy in thought. And he is. There is about 100 things that are going through his mind at one time right now. That's the one thing that stands out to him the most, is just how calm he is.
Okay. So yeah, he definitely like kind of looks, like kind of squints at you and looks you up and down, like a larger fellow with like some dark brown hair and a kind of a beard. He's kind of shorter cut, and he kind of squints at you. Kind of steps away over to the side and prepares. Where are the crossed swords? Let's see. Place an owlbear here. I guess one thing I could use the drawing tool for is actually the shape of the little arena that we are in here. Okay, let's see. Oh, hang on. Ah, that is an interesting point of note. Making a square here is going to be kind of difficult. Let me see. I guess it's not adjustable. Hang on, I can fix that though. Make a better one. There we go. Okay, so they kind of rope off this section here in the middle of the arena, and they center your opponent across from you. And the little referee boy steps out, And he draws his sword and he sets the sheath off to the side. He steps forward to begin the duel. Jack, what do you do first? Remember, this is still kind of we're still doing the kind of skill challenge thing, so it's like essentially giving it flavor, and then we'll roll plus a stat to figure out what it is, who wins that particular round, and then we'll move forward.
The second, you said it was like a rope, right?
Yeah, there's a rope all the way around, but it's like loose hanging. It's not like the taut one that was for the other ones. This one's more loose hanging, just to show the area where you're supposed to stay in. Essentially making a sort of, I guess, a ring.
The second the rope comes down, Jack starts to.
It's just a boy holding a flag to start it. Is all it is.
And then, so once it starts, Jack kind of starts walking, sort of like pacing back and forth. He keeps his eyes on him the entire time.
Yeah.
He just will not. He just will not lose contact with him. He is dead center on him. He's just got that blank expression looking at the other guy, just staring him down.
Okay.
Back and forth, waiting to see what he's gonna do.
Okay, so he steps up and he kind of eyes you for a minute, and he kind of steps up, not unsure kind of what to do. He takes some slow steps around you and kind of comes around like this, kind of around to your side here. Let's see, hang on. We don't have a Jack token on the
Wait, no, grab the
Owlbear.
grab the Octojack one. It's still in the server.
Is it? Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. You guys have minis on this map already. We've just been in this city for so long that I forgot. Where is it?
Yeah, I just copied mine and moved it. I'll delete it later.
Hang on, I went to the wrong thing. There it is. Okay, here we go. I brought it in. Okay, so you'd be like right here right now. And he kind of like steps around you and he kind of comes in and he goes for a strike to your side. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use my speed to evade it.
Okay.
And I'm going to strike him with my elbow on his arm from where he hit me.
Okay, so go ahead and roll and add your dexterity modifier. Try and be deft here.
Alright, 1 second. Wait, so-
The rules of the 3v3 don't necessarily apply here. You don't have to like use different skills for each one because that would be kind of difficult.
Okay, so roll d20 plus
Yeah.
dexterity. There you are. Oh, perfect 20. Let's go.
Oh, natural 20.
So that's plus 5, so that's 25.
Okay, so you what happens as you go in for this maneuver?
He swings down at me, and then I sort of just move to the side super quickly, and then once the sword hits the ground, I take my elbow and just hit him right where the joint is on his arm, between like his upper arm and his
Okay.
elbow, and just like, slam it down as hard as I can.
Ooh, yeah. And he definitely feels that. And he's like, ah! And the referee boy waves the flag and he says, "Point, Jack!" And the guy like shakes his arm off and he picks up his sword and he walks over to the other side of the ring to begin again. And steps over towards the rope, shakes his hand out, stops and kind of turns and takes up the sword again. The boy waves the flag and to begin again. And he steps out and he comes around the other side this time, but he doesn't get quite as close. He kind of stops there and he's kind of like eyeballing you. What do you do?
Okay, so Jack would assume that he sort of figured him out a tiny bit, so he's going to stop him being very defensive.
Mm-hmm.
For this round, he's going to go on the offensive. So I'm going to run at him as fast as I can and try to see if I can knock him off his feet with a sweep.
Okay. What stat are you going for here? More like strength or
I really just want to try to stagger him.
Okay. So this would be, I think, more on the side of strength, honestly. Trying to like hit him as hard as you can to try and knock him off his footing. So go ahead and roll D20 and add your strength modifier. Let's see.
7 plus
So plus 3.
3.
Yeah, you're at plus. Or no, wait, hold on. I'm on the wrong thing. I lied to you. Plus 2. You were right. So it was okay, no, yeah, he takes you on this one, so you step in to try and get under his guard, and he actually brings the sword around and kind of like steps back and brings the sword in under your arm and like cuts you along the ribs, and then steps back and brings the tip around. It stings, it burns, and the little referee boy comes out and he waves the flag and he says, "Point to what I say his name is Cormac." I forgot what his name was. And he smiles at you and puts the sword over his shoulder, and he steps back over to his corner. And the referee boy looks at you, and he like picks up your arm and looks under your arm, and he looks over to the cleric's box and he waves.
It's a job for Manus.
Job for Manus, yes it is.
Yeah, so remember.
Oh, you're good. You're a little quiet.
Here, give me 1 sec. Any better?
A little bit, yeah.
Alright, I run over and I let him
Did you kind of, what did you say?
Yeah, I think you kind of fizzled out there. We could hear you first, and then it kind of fizzled out.
Give me 1 sec.
He said, what healing spell would he need to use?
Cats. God damn it. Can't you leave shit alone?
Meow.
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 Yeah, I see here, meow.
Oh, I say,
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound good.
yes, we can, sir.
I run over and what healing spell do I need to cast to...
Any old healing spell. It's just a cut along his ribs. Nothing too deep. It's just enough to score.
Alright, we'll...
It's one of those opportunities for you to like to be his Mick in his corner, if you would, if you will.
Do I need to roll anything to give him some advice?
No, nothing in particular. It's just a matter of observations.
He seems really cocky. I try to use that to your advantage. And then I cast Cure Light Wounds on him.
So Jack,
Okay,
you feel
like,
that?
close up that wound on his
Yeah, you
chest.
feel the wound close up on your side. With the little bit of advice given from your corner, as it
What
were.
kind of weapon does he have again?
It's just like a long sword. Are you talking about Jack?
No, I was talking about his opponent. I forgot.
Oh no, he's
it was
just
long
a
sword.
pretty simple long sword. Like I said, most of the opponents, or most of the contestants for the dueling part, most of them were swords of various types. Seems it's the 1v1 duels attract a certain crowd.
Manus
What
kind
are
of
you
looks-
doing? I don't understand what is happening around me, that not in frame. The cats are going crazy. Okay.
Gandalf during your room.
It's not Gandalf, it's Shelly. There's this punch fist like gas station scissor arm thing with the boxing glove on the end that you push the button and it extends out. And it's just kind of laid over on the couch, and she's attacking it and then running away. Like it's gonna hurt her. I have not chased her with it, I promise.
Pets have a problem with they'll attack an inanimate object and then freak out when it moves because they hit.
Yeah, yes.
Like they cause physics and then get scared of physics.
Yes. So what's Jack's plan for this round?
So I looked at him right before I get back in. I turn to him and I look. I think I'm gonna run with that. I'll see what I can do about that. So I can use abilities, right?
Yeah, nobody said anything. So, and Revian was casting spells in the 3 versus 3s.
Hell, he started off with it.
I'm gonna do what I do best, and I'm gonna try to get inside this guy's mind.
Ooh, okay. What are you gonna use?
I'm basically gonna try to just break him down to where he starts losing focus, and he will basically start to doubt himself.
Okay.
Once I know that he's not really doing so good, that's when I'm gonna try to be more aggressive.
Ooh. Okay. Let's see. So, you have a couple of options for getting in this guy's head. Where was that last one? Hang on. There was one more that you had. There it is. Okay, so you have Mind Jack and the Heart's Sorrow are 2 moves that you could kind of use here for that sort of thing to get in his head. It just depends on what your intention is.
I don't have that pulled up right now. What's the
Mind Jack is when you mentally force a target to obey a simple order. You roll plus wisdom. And then Heart's Sorrow is when you look into someone's heart in search of a secret. Roll plus wisdom.
I'm gonna do Heart Sorrow.
Heart's Sorrow? Okay, so roll a d20 plus wisdom. And then on a full success, you choose 2. On a mixed success, you choose 1. And there's a list of 3 things.
Oh, I screwed up. That's 4 plus.
So your wisdom is a plus 3 currently. Okay, so hang on, I haven't even rolled for this guy yet. So this is less like full or mixed success based, and more based on who rolls higher. This is more of a contest than it is about the actual thing on the roll. Shelly, really? Okay, so I'm gonna roll for this guy now because I haven't quite rolled yet. Oh shit, he actually rolled kind of okay. Okay. Gee, what round are we in? Hey, man.
3.
Round 3. Let me check the rules. Okay. So, you go to try and get in this guy's head, and he like dashes across the arena really quick, and like kind of gives you like a kind of a gut punch with the pommel of the sword as he grabs the blade and like kind of brings it around and gets you in the gut with it as you're like trying to focus. It's like really quick motion. And the referee boy calls out again. He says, "Point to Cormac."
Cormac.
These are best of 5 though, so it's not over yet. So this is 2-1 currently. So match point on his side. But you have 2 to go if you want to try and get a win out of this. What do you want to do now?
I'm really adamant on trying to see what I can figure out about this guy. I'll give it one more shot, and if it doesn't,
Go ahead, yeah. Roll again and add wisdom. Like I said, this is the 1 versus 1s. I'm not as worried about trying to roll different stuff.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, natural
Oh, shit.
20. All right, let's see what he gets.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, you got that. Okay, so you're using Heart's Sorrow, you said? Okay, so on a full success, the secret is, so when you look into someone's heart in search of a secret, you have 3 options, and you choose 2. The options are, as listed, the secret is presented with greater context. Second option is the secret is something you could possibly know otherwise, however unlikely that might be. The third option is the secret can easily be used to gain leverage for parlay, which is like a persuasion roll. Like a charisma. You add your charisma for that one.
I'm going to use the third one.
Use the third one? Okay. You also get to choose a second option because you got a full success.
What was the first two?
The first one is the secret is presented with greater context, and the second one is the secret is something you could possibly know otherwise, however unlikely that might be.
I'll do the second one.
The second one? Okay. So you kind of peer into this guy's like thoughts, and you catch some of the thoughts swirling around, and you catch something about you kind of get a gauge of this guy as you peer into his thoughts, and you catch his wife will never know about the mistress that he's going to go see after he wins this competition. And that is the ammunition you are given.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That's funny.
Okay.
Told you, this is why I like this class. It's not all about like just punching
funny.
shit. You get into people's heads and you make things happen. Or you just throw boxes at them or rocks with your mind. I love that.
See, so knowing that information, I look at him, smile, and I've just got like this just like the biggest shit-eating grin you could ever see.
Oh,
on
yeah.
somebody. And I just look like, and I just, oh, jeez. And then I look at him with that smile, and I'm like, wow, you're pretty strong. I'm not good with dialogue.
Hey, oh, you're all right. So do you want to like?
Yeah, Ty looks
You want
tough.
to speak it out loud now? Throw him off guard? Do you want to try and persuade him and to lose? How do you want to go about this? There's a lot of ways you could use this. Just shout out to the crowd for his wife and like, I don't know, cause him to some sort of thing to happen.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna use that. I'm like, damn, buddy, where's your wife? Or one of them at least.
And you hear it like from like to your right. You hear a, "You said what? What did he say?" And he goes, "Oh, nothing, darling." He said nothing at all. Don't take any heed of anything that he said. What do you do to hit this guy as he's off guard and not paying attention?
I'm going to use telekinetic force to knock him back.
Okay, so you hit him just straight into the chest, sending him over backwards.
Yes.
Okay, so like you guys see Jack like wave his wand, and this guy goes like his feet leave the ground, and he just goes perfectly over backwards onto his back, and like over the rope, which is it's not like super high, but he goes over the rope and lands on his back on the ground, and kind of like as he sits up, and the little referee boy comes out and he waves his flag and says, "Point, Jack!" And the final round of this first bout of the 1 versus 1s. What would you like to do, Jack? As he steps in.
Now, knowing this information, I tell him loud enough to where he can hear it, but not to where his wife can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just want to let him know that I know what he's hiding. So I just stare at him dead in the eyes and go, "I know your secret. I will give you the option now. You can concede, let me win, and nobody will have to know what matters more, this or your over."
Okay. Roll and add your charisma.
+4.
Oh man. Roll a natural 20.
Holy shit.
I know it.
I swear I rolled it while I had like before you started rolling, and I'd stopped and I was like, certainly if I look over that number is going to be different if I look back at it in a second, and it didn't change. So damn it, I wanted you to win this, damn it, fuck, this is gonna be so cool. Okay. Shit. So you say this and his face wrinkles with rage, and he just kind of And he comes running at you with a sword, and he swings at you, and you guys kind of go back and forth. And
Dropped out.
did he drop? And he swings the sword, and Jack takes like one cut across the arm, like frantically trying to get
Oh,
away from this
crap,
guy.
he did.
And Cormac takes the match, unfortunately. Hang on, I got too many fucking tabs open. There we go. Let me fix it.
Oh, his Discord died.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fucking timing? Oh, damn it.
It'd be like that sometimes.
It
That's
really
unfortunate.
do, man.
I feel that shit. Especially after last week, too. He missed that. I forgot about that. Yeah, he missed all of that. Okay, so unfortunately, Jack does not win. And that is where we will unfortunately have to end. And I was hoping to burn through all these really quickly, but
Yeah, I was hoping to burn through the first match real quick.
we at least got to a really interesting one. We might glaze over a bit more for the rest of the 1v1s just to kind of get through it. Because next week I'd like to move forward a bit more. But next up is, let's see, I remember we have Jug and Hatano also competing. So next up is Jug, I think. Okay,
Hell yeah.
so I'll leave that there. So that the arena is set.
win.
All right.
All right. I will see you guys next week.
Dipped him out.
Yeah,
I forgot that we were like right at the end. Damn.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
See you guys next time.
Night, you guys.
Night.
Yeah. Night.
Good night, everybody. All right. Good night, stream. We will see you next